Kings and Queens of Old England, fascinating stories. The history of England is a tapestry woven with the threads of kings and queens who have ruled the land over the centuries. From the early medieval period to the more recent times, the lives and reigns of these monarchs have been marked by intrigue, power struggles, grandeur, and even tragedy. Their stories not only shaped the destiny of England, but also left an indelible mark on world history. In this essay, we will delve into the fascinating stories of some of the most iconic kings and queens of Old England. The early English monarchs, Alfred the Great and Ethelred the Unready. The early history of England is characterized by the tumultuous rule of various Saxon and Viking kings. Among these, one name stands out as a beacon of hope and resilience: Alfred the Great. Alfred reigned from 871 to 899 and is remembered for his heroic efforts in defending England against Viking invasions. His reign marked the beginning of a united English kingdom, and he is often regarded as one of the nation's greatest rulers. Alfred was not just a military leader. He was also a scholar who promoted education and learning. He ordered the translation of important Latin texts into Old English and supported the spread of knowledge throughout his kingdom. His contributions to English culture and governance have earned him the epithet the Great. On the flip side, history also presents us with figures like Ethelred the Unready, who ruled from 978 to 1013 and again from 1014 to 1016. Despite his lengthy reign, Ethelred is remembered for his lack of readiness and his inability to effectively counter Viking raids and invasions. His reign was marked by a series of tributes paid to Viking invaders, known as the Danegeld, which only encouraged further raids. The epithet unready is a misinterpretation of the Old English word honored, which meant poorly advised rather than unprepared. Nevertheless, Ethelred's reign was a tumultuous period in English history, marked by strife and insecurity. 2. The Norman Conquest, William the Conqueror. One of the most pivotal moments in English history was the Norman Conquest of 1066, led by William the Conqueror. Born in Normandy, William, also known as William I of England, claimed the English throne after defeating Harold II at the Battle of Hastings. This marked the end of the Anglo-Saxon era and the beginning of Norman rule in England. William's reign brought about significant changes in English society and governance. The Domesday Book, a comprehensive survey of England's lands and resources, was commissioned during his reign, providing invaluable insights into medieval England. The Norman Conquest also introduced a new nobility and the feudal system, reshaping the social and political landscape of the country. Despite his often heavy-handed rule, William was a formidable leader who left a lasting imprint on England. His legacy can still be seen in the architecture, language, and legal system of the country. The Bayeux Tapestry, an embroidered cloth depicting the events leading up to the Norman Conquest, serves as a visual testament to this transformative period. 3. Plantagenets and the Magna Carta, King John and the Lionheart. The Plantagenet dynasty, which ruled England from the 12th to the 15th centuries, produced several memorable monarchs. Two of the most famous are King John and Richard the Lionheart. King John, who reigned from 1199 to 1216, is infamous for his contentious relationship with his barons, which culminated in the sealing of the Magna Carta in 1215. The Magna Carta, or Great Charter, was a historic document that limited the powers of the monarch and established certain legal rights for English citizens. While King John reluctantly agreed to the Magna Carta, it laid the foundation for the development of constitutional law and the idea that the king was not above the law. In stark contrast to his brother John, Richard the Lionheart, who reigned from 1189 to 1199, is celebrated as a valiant warrior and a key figure in the Crusades. His chivalric exploits and military prowess earned him the epithet Lionheart. Although Richard spent little time in England during his reign, his legacy endures in the romanticized tales of his adventures and his efforts to reclaimed the Holy Land from the Muslim forces during the Third Crusade. If the Tudor dynasty, Henry VIII and Elizabeth I. The Tudor dynasty brought both turbulence and transformation to England. Henry VIII, who reigned from 1509 to 1547, is perhaps one of the most notorious monarchs in English history. His 6 marriages and the English Reformation are defining aspects of his reign. Henry's decision to break away from the Roman Catholic Church and establish the Church of England was driven by his desire to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, as she failed to produce a male heir. This act had profound consequences, leading to the dissolution of monasteries, the confiscation of church property, and the establishment of the English Protestant Church. On the other hand, his daughter, Elizabeth I, is remembered as one of England's greatest rulers. Her reign, which lasted from 1558 to 1603, is often referred to as the Elizabethan era, a period of remarkable cultural flourishing. Under her rule, England saw the works of William Shakespeare, the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, and the exploration of the New World by figures like Sir Walter Raleigh. Elizabeth's strong leadership and diplomatic acumen solidified England's position as a major European power. The Stuart dynasty, the Stuart monarchs, and the English Civil War. The Stuart dynasty, which began with James I in 1603, witnessed significant political and religious upheaval in England. James I is best known for commissioning the King James Bible, a translation that has had a profound influence on the English language and Protestant Christianity. However, it was during the reign of his son, Charles I, 1625 to 1649, that England was plunged into civil war. The English Civil War, which lasted from 1640 to 1651, was a conflict between the royalist supporters of the king and the parliamentarian supporters of Parliament. Charles I's absolutist tendencies and conflicts with Parliament led to his eventual trial and execution in 1649, marking a unique chapter in English history where a reigning monarch was put on trial and executed by his own subjects. The end of the Civil War led to the brief establishment of the Commonwealth of England, led by Oliver Cromwell. However, this period was followed by the restoration of the monarchy under Charles II in 1660, marking the return of the Stuart dynasty. The Glorious Revolution, William and Mary. The late 17th century saw another pivotal moment in English history, the Glorious Revolution of 1688. This event saw the joint rule of William III and Mary II, who were invited to the throne by Parliament, effectively curbing the absolute power of the monarchy. William and Mary's reign marked the shift towards constitutional monarchy and parliamentary supremacy. The Bill of Rights in 1689 and the Act of Settlement in 1701 established important principles, such as the prohibition of Catholic monarchs and the requirement for the monarch to be a Protestant. The Glorious Revolution was glorious in the sense that it marked a relatively peaceful transition of power and the protection of parliamentary rights, without the need for a violent revolution or civil war. 7. The Hanoverian Kings, George III and the American Revolution. The 18th century saw the rise of the Hanoverian dynasty in England, with George III being one of the most prominent monarchs of this era. His reign from 1760 to 1820 was marked by a significant event in world history, the American Revolution. George III's uncompromising stance towards the American colonies and his refusal to address their grievances ultimately led to the outbreak of the American Revolution in 1775. The war ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1783, recognizing the United States as an independent nation. This loss had far-reaching consequences for the British Empire, reshaping its global influence. George III's reign was also marked by periods of personal turmoil, as he struggled with mental illness, which led to regency being declared in 1811, when his son, the future George IV, took over the responsibilities of the monarchy. 8. Queen Victoria in the British Empire. Queen Victoria, who reigned from 1837 to 1901, presided over one of the most significant periods in British history, the Victorian era. Her reign witnessed the zenith of the British Empire, with territories spanning the globe. Victoria's enduring legacy is often associated with the expansion of the British Empire, advancements in industry and technology, and the cultural and artistic achievements of the era. The term Victorian is synonymous with a strict code of moral conduct and societal norms that characterize the period. The Victorian era also saw significant social changes, including the beginnings of women's suffrage movements and the push for workers' rights. Victoria herself was a strong advocate for family values and is often associated with the idealized image of a mother and queen. 9. The Windsors, Queen Elizabeth II. The modern era of English monarchy is defined by the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who ascended the throne in 1952. Her long and steady reign has seen remarkable changes in the world, including the end of the British Empire, the Cold War, and the digital age. Queen Elizabeth II has been a symbol of continuity and stability for the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. Her dedication to public service and her commitment to her role as the constitutional monarch have earned her widespread respect and admiration. Throughout her reign, Queen Elizabeth II has witnessed significant events, from the moon landing in 1969 to the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and beyond. Her reign has also seen the transformation of the monarchy in response to changing societal values and the emergence of a more diverse and multicultural Britain. Conclusion: the legacy of Old England's monarchs. The kings and queens of Old England have left an indelible mark on the nation's history. From Alfred the Great to Queen Elizabeth II, each monarch brought their unique personality, challenges, and contributions to the throne. Their stories are not only a source of fascination, but also offer valuable insights into the evolution of England as a nation. The struggles for power, the pursuit of religious freedom, the expansion of the empire, and the development of constitutional monarchy have all shaped the England we know today. As we delve into the fascinating stories of these monarchs, we gain a deeper appreciation for the rich tapestry of history that forms the foundation of modern England. Their legacies continue to live on in the traditions, institutions, and culture of a nation that has been shaped by the reigns of its kings and queens for centuries. All England's fascinating stories are a testament to the enduring power of history to inform, inspire, and captivate our imaginations.